Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I was just going to hand over the floor to you, Commissioner, and then we have time for 2 short questions. Fire ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Dan. We know each other too well. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Chancellor. We know that you're under time pressure, so I'm going to be very brief. If I can persuade my iPad to cooperate, which it will. As you see, we've just signed, that's the purpose of the Chancellor's visit. We've signed a Memorandum of Understanding between the European Union and the United Kingdom, and this deals with the regulatory cooperation in financial services. I think it's fair to say we've turned a page in our relationship based on the Windsor framework, and indeed thanks to the leadership of President von der Leyen and Vice President Maroš Šefčovič and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. This has allowed us to move forward in a spirit of partnership based on trust, cooperation and delivering benefits for people on both sides. And this MOU we've just signed is one example of the benefits of partnership. So in concrete terms, it sets out a forum that will allow our services, DG FISMA on our side here at the EU level and HM Treasury on the UK side, to meet on a regular basis, as we do with other partners, including the United States. And we expect the first meeting of the forum to take place this autumn. And this structured cooperation will let both sides talk to each other about things like regulatory changes on both sides, international developments or risks to financial markets. Because we share a commitment to financial stability, market integrity and protecting consumers and investors. And while the UK is no longer in the EU or indeed in the single market, we still share many of the same issues and challenges, like fighting financial crime, supporting sustainable finance and enabling digital finance. So it's really positive that we've had this structured cooperation in place, and I now hand over to the Chancellor.
Thank you very much, Commissioner McGuinness. We are absolutely delighted on the UK side to be able to sign this Memorandum of Understanding. We also see it as an important turning point. We have a shared interest in global financial stability. The UK is the biggest financial services sector in Europe, and we have a particular responsibility to work closely with the EU to make sure that both sides are doing what it takes to make sure that we have that stability that is so important when there are so many difficult events going on around the world. We see this very much as not the end of a process, but the beginning. We think the enhanced dialogue it will make possible will make a real and tangible difference on both sides. And we also totally agree with you, Commissioner McGuinness, that we have shared objectives and cooperation is absolutely essential. So I think it's an important day for all of us.
Thank you very much, Chancellor and Commissioner. As I said, we have time for 1 or 2 short questions. Sam.
Thanks very much. Sam Fleming from the Financial Times. Could I ask about another potential, what was seen as a potential benefit from Windsor, which was Horizon? It seems that talks on Horizon have stalled. I wonder if that's correct. What's going wrong with the talks? Because the science community on both sides seem to think that every day that's lost with no deal is a day lost to the science community.
I'm happy to go first. I wouldn't describe them as stalled. I think that they are becoming more crunchy as we start to work out precisely what terms for participation in Horizon would be fair to UK taxpayers and work for the UK. But I think both sides recognise that it is a successful and very important programme, and the optimal outcome would be to find a way where participation can work for the UK.
I think it was very clear at the press conference with Prime Minister Sunak and President von der Leyen when the Windsor framework was agreed. She immediately spoke of Horizon, and I think both sides know that there are benefits to have a shared area around science and innovation. I like the word crunchy. I'm not involved in the detailed discussions, but I think the objective is a shared one, and certainly I would encourage more crunching so that we get a result.
Maria.
Thank you so much. Mr. Hunt, at the IMF, you told me by the end of the year we will beat forecasts. The UK economy is navigating now a difficult moment. Do you still believe you will do better than expected? And I wonder, this collaboration, is it beneficial for both in terms of growth, GDP, and more work than you can do together?
Thank you. Let me go first. I think at the IMF, we said that we thought we would prove the IMF forecasts wrong, and the Managing Director very generously said we had proved them wrong because she came to London and upgraded the UK growth forecast by, from memory, 0.7%. So the UK economy is proving more resilient than many people predicted, but inflation is too high, and that is the most important challenge we face, and we will do what it takes to tackle that, and we'll do it working in collaboration with our European friends and allies.
I mean, this is my second meeting with the Chancellor. I was in London recently where we also had a very good conversation. I mean, we know in this room where the world is. So the United Kingdom is no longer in the European Union, but we needed, after 7 years since the referendum, to fix our relationship. And I think today is an important part of that process. But you ask an important point, are there other areas where we cooperate? Look what we're doing around sanctions against Russia. We share common problems, so financial instability in one area of the world has impacts elsewhere. So not only is it important that we find a way, as we've done with the memorandum, to have a structured dialogue and work together, we do that with other partners globally because we want to make sure that the financial system remains stable. The challenge, and I won't speak for the UK economy, for Europe has been COVID and this illegal invasion. And yet I would also use the word resilience of our economy despite that, including labour pressures across member states. But today I think is important, and I think this will be the last question. So my closing remarks would be that some of you know the memorandum has been around for a little while, but we kept it protected so that the ink did not fade. So it's very strongly written. This allows us now to move forward for our services to be in touch and to establish this biannual structured dialogue where we will be able to tease out many of these issues that impact on our financial system. Chancellor.
Thank you. I just think we are having very good discussions, and crunchy discussions can be friendly discussions, and that's what will happen.
And final handshake? It seems there's a very good mood. Can we have a final handshake?
Let's do a final handshake.
Now, if the Chancellor presents me with a crunchy, I will worry. Let's do a final.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.